back to my live. Like I said yesterday, if you tuned in, you just don't know when I'm going to drop in on you live. So get used to this interaction. This is probably how I am going to communicate to members when my channel reaches that mark of subscribing to join the Purge box. I will drop some, let's see, not secluded, but private conversations in on those members where you guys and gals will have an opportunity to ask me questions, and it will be like a live Q&A. So the title of this live is Dissolving Hidden Blocks, Exposing Your Blind Spots, and Purging Limiting Beliefs. I need you to tell me, Mishra, first and foremost, what you're doing today, how you are getting through your day, especially if your day is full of negativity. What are you doing to overcome it? And how are you exposing the thing that keeps you back, the thing that holds you back? And it may show up as fear. So I'm in my PJs. I literally just hopped in the bed. I'm just going to hold up and wait a moment and give you some time to enter into this live with me. I've been working on completing these chapters in my new book, and I would like to discuss, one of the, not chapters, but a portion of this book, and it ties into the title of Exposing Your Blind Spots. For some of you, fear is a factor, and fear is a blind spot. So I want to share with you, what some people may say about fear. Hello, welcome to my live. Denise, welcome. I don't know what all these emojis you're saying. What is that? Hearts and flowers and wedding rings. Well, it's not a wedding ring. It's not an engagement ring. I don't even have a husband. I don't even have a significant other. I don't have a man. The one that I was with does not want the same thing that I want, and that's holy matrimony. That is the plan that the Most High has for me. His plan for me is to be a spouse, a virtuous woman. Although I'm 56 and my children are old, right? My oldest son's birthday is today. He's 39 today. My middle daughter is 36 and my youngest is 27. I'm a grandmother of 3. My latest grandchild was born February 1st. She's, 5 days old. I'm single, and the individual that I was with for a number of years told me he was married twice and divorced, and he just doesn't want to be married again. And I knew that going in. We were friends, and we became lovers, and we became constant companions, and I'm just not one that can settle for less, especially when I know the Most High has a plan of success for me, and that's holy matrimony. So I said, okay, I'm sorry, then this is not going to work. And no, we cannot be friends. Although I love him, and my heart was broken because you can't force someone to want the same thing that you want. And even though he was in, 2 marriages that resulted in two divorces, ultimately, at the end of the day, he wants what he wants, and I want what I want, and it's not the same thing. So it was best for me to just go my separate way, and I don't care what the man does for a living. I don't care how wealthy he is. I don't care how much land or real estate he owns. I don't care, what type of business he owns or how many vehicles he owns. I don't care. If you are not in alignment with the word of the Most High for my life, then your intentions and your plan for me can't be good. And the last thing that I'm going to do is just lie in a bed of sin to please a man. Like, for what? For what, Miss Baka? I can't do that. I can't do that. I haven't been touched by many people. I'm, guess you could say a little spoiled, you know. I'm a little spoiled, although I've been engaged multiple times. It just seems like, I don't know, for me, when I would get to the part of saying I do, oh, you like my legs, huh? I have long legs, 5'9.5". So I have long legs. That every time I would get to, that place of settling down with the right person, the Most High will always show me that that's not the right person for me. That person may be good, but that's not the good person for me. And your right could be my wrong. So for me, it was the wrong person every single time. And I'm like, oh, okay, back to the old drawing board. But one thing about me as a what's the word that I'm looking for, a particular word. Like, I'm brave hearted. I'm courageous. And I literally I meditate on scripture that reinforces that we are to stand, having done all to stand, and to be courageous, and to not settle for less, and to be virtuous, right? So the fear of being alone at this age, at 56, and it can it can sink in, it can settle in. However, my faith rises above that fear. I have so much faith in the God I serve that I know He did not bring me this far by myself to leave me. My children have had the best upbringing in a nice house. And my house sleeps 10 people. And I just sold it. It was on the market since September. It sold. I had accepted an offer a few days ago. My closing is at the end of this month, right? And I've been here for almost 26 years. And I raised them in an environment that was conducive for their health and their success. And they seen me work hard. They saw me not make excuses. They saw me overcome fear. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. And it's a portion of my book that is coming out. It's called Breaking Brokenness. That's the name of the book. It's a guide to for the diaspora to break generational curses and to manifest generational wealth. And in this particular on this particular page, in this portion, I discuss the importance of overcoming fear, right? By, having those tough conversations. And I had to have that tough conversation with someone that I love. Like, he was like a constant companion. Someone that I've known for 30 years, that I dated a year and a half, 30 years ago, and then for 6 years, the past 6 years. And so that person was like a constant companion. And, we have a tendency as humans, especially as women, to hold on to men that doesn't serve our greater good. And how is that treating you? At the end of the day, when you go to lie down in your bed, knowing that the only bed that is undefiled is the marriage bed, and promiscuity is not a part of the marriage bed. Lying in the bed of lust doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve me. And at the end of the day, it will send you to hell. And there was no way that me knowing this could allow not only myself, but the person that I loved to go to hell because he said he loves me or because he wants to lie in a bed with me and have sex. Like, no, there's no way I am going to be held accountable for taking that person to hell because my love is good to him. Because making love to me feels like, oh, you can let go of $1 million check. Like, get serious. I just sip that and it just rolled right down. Right down. Yeah. Hold on, Miss Rika. Let me grab. I have to be careful how I move because of my spinal. Oh, my dear. So, gave myself a little shower with tea. Like, I'm a woman of, what's the word? Great conviction. Holy Ghost conviction, right? I have Holy Ghost conviction. And if I'm praying and I'm fasting and I'm asking the Most High to bless me, and He's saying to me, okay, but first you need to let go of your boyfriend, this man friend who's 10 years older than me, right? He didn't look it. Very handsome man. Neither of us are on meds. We are ultimately very healthy people. So, to me, he was a perfect match. But I guess the Most High was like, no, until this man aligns with my words and my plan and my intentions and my motive for you, regardless of how you feel, Leah, he's not the perfect match for you. Excuse me. So I had to face reality. I had to face reality. And that was a scary place. That was a truly look in the mirror and dissolve what's blocking you from your blessing kind of place, right? And fear began to sink in. Fear began to sink in. And then I had to examine potentially what my ancestors may have experienced when it came to relationships. And what type of energy, this little gnat, where is this bug coming from? What kind of energy am I holding on to, and not just holding on to in the physical realm, but in the spiritual realm that could inevitably cause harm or damage to the future generation in my lineage, right? Got it. And that was like a real, I thought I got it, got up and flew away. That was a real fear for me because I'm like, man, all this time I've been with this person. I haven't been out Hi, Money Man Bands. What's up, man? What's up, everybody? What's up, my baby? What's up, a little shorty? What's up, everybody who's on my live? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for showing me support. I figured I would drop in on a live because I did a live yesterday, and I recall when I first reactivated this YouTube channel over 28 days ago. Was February, it was January 4th, so it's been what, 32 days that I said, oh, don't quit your job. YouTube is easy for small creators. YouTube is making it super easy for small creators. Um, People lie and numbers don't, right? What I'm seeing here is these numbers on YouTube is lying. I'm just going to be quite frank. These YouTube numbers are lying because I know for a fact more people have watched my videos than what the YouTube views are depicting. And then one of the most bizarre things happened yesterday. Before I created my live, it said I had 4,100 plus views for the past 28 days. After my live, it said I had 3,300 views for the past 28 days. So, how did I lose views? YouTube. How did I lose views? Those numbers are lying. And I don't know what's up with this new algorithm. First, I'm like, oh, the algorithm is changing. It's making it easy for smaller channels and new creators to get views and get noticed on YouTube. Something is going on with this algorithm, this new algorithm. I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to continue to show up as consistent as possible so I can stay present and be a present help in your need, because I am a life coach and I am a trauma recovery life coach and I am a international trademark certified trauma recovery life coach, and I know someone out there needs to hear what I have to convey, regardless of what the numbers of YouTube says. So getting back to the fear, the real fear. And some people will use fear as an acronym and say, oh, fear is false evidence appearing real. No, fear is a very real factor. It's a very real emotion. And the way you overcome fear is through faith, because fear can paralyze you from moving forward. If I had let fear sink in, I would still be calling that man my so-called boyfriend or my man, and he'd still be calling me his girl or his woman or his lady. But because he's not here in America, he's not here with me, there's no way I can call that man my man. And he's not even doing the things a man should do for a woman like me. And I'm not one who dates around. I don't cheat around. I'm not mingling. I'm single. And I'm loving on me. I'm focused on the past, since I've come back from Costa Rica in June. I went there for 21 days from May to June. It's just been okay, pack up my house, put it on the market, do what I have to do to move forward, because this man is not helping me to move forward. I must move my life forward. And I had to truly focus on fear. I didn't care about rejection. I didn't care about conflict when speaking up. All I cared about was I need truth, and I need to be set free from lies and from intentions and motives that are not in alignment with the plan of the Most High for my life. So I made a decision, Mishpaka, to confront the past, the present, because it would have affected my future. And my future is my grandchildren, it's my great grandchildren, and 4 generations deep. I refuse to transfer emotions and patterns and habits and behaviors that not only doesn't serve me or suit me in my life today, but those patterns, habits, and behaviors will not suit my future generation. If I continue to settle for less, what am I teaching them? That mediocrity is okay. That being someone's forever girlfriend or for someone's forever boyfriend is okay. When the Most High has a plan of success for your life called holy matrimony. Other than that, you're a concubine. And if that man is not a king, you do not deserve to be his concubine. And I am no one's concubine. I'm a queen. I'm a virtuous woman. I'm a wife. I'm a wife. I'm a housewife, as a matter of fact. I'm a housewife. So I had to speak my truth. And although it may have been daunting, I knew that it was going to expose lies. It was going to expose hidden blocks. It was going to expose blind spots. And at the same time, it was going to purge limiting beliefs. Because his beliefs were limiting me. It was limiting me from being free for the right man to find me. The man who wants a wife, who wants a good thing, who wants a constant companion, who wants someone that's fun, that's humorous, who wants someone that loves to play reggae music, and I can play really good reggae music. He wants someone that loves the Lord first of all, someone that can cover him in prayer, a helpmeet to help him meet his purpose. He wants someone that's financially free, that's smart and educated and intelligent. He wants someone that's healthy. I don't have any diseases. I'm not on any type of drugs besides medical marijuana for my spine. And I use that very responsibly. So I don't know. If y'all know, a rich uncle, if you got a rich uncle that wants a godly woman, send them my way. So I had to overcome the fear of disrupting what I thought was family harmony, because it truly wasn't harmonious. When I think about it, I was outside of the will of Yah for my life. That's not harmonious living. I was living a lie. I was living a lie, lying to myself every day. The person came over every single day for years. Went around my family every single day for years. Even they were surprised, like, what? I mean, yeah, he said he didn't want to be married again, but at the same time, he's like, yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens doesn't take years. Let me tell you that. So I had to break free from fear that was paralyzing me from confronting my truths. And I had to look in the mirror and say, girl, what are you doing? Why are you allowing this person to block your blessings? As long as he's there, as long as he's around you, how are you creating space for a new person to come in. So I spoke on a few videos in the past about purging and decluttering and, creating space for new beginnings. Sometimes we need to let people go. It's not always just things and places. Sometimes it's people that we know, like, and trust and love, and your heart may break. Because at the end of the day, when you know in your heart of hearts, this person is playing with your mind, your soul, your spirit, your energy, your time, you gotta let him or her go. They're not a good fit for you. They're not a good fit. And you may have to pick up and relocate and move to a new environment. That could be a new city, a new state, a new country, a new region, a new continent, a new island, right? A whole new tectonic plate, a new hemisphere, just to be positioned and centered perfectly in the assignment that the Most High has ordained and called you to be in. And it could be for a time such as this. But the only way to overcome that paralyzing fear is to address it and know that it's not false evidence appearing real. It's real. But you need to face it and overcome it through faith and believing in yourself. Knowing that you have everything in you to set yourself free. I had to do that. And so that, to me, also align with breaking generational curses. Because we know that growing, up, they have taken CRT out of schools, right? They're not even teaching critical race in schools anymore. So a lot of you have no idea what your ancestors went through if you're black and brown people in America or in the Americas or in Europe. Chattel slavery in the Americas, you have to break that pattern, that habit, and those behaviors that you see in men and or black and brown women in America because of chattel slavery. They would breed the men and the women and then separate them. The women would have the children, and they would not allow the men, the husbands, the fathers, to be raised in the same household as the women and the children. They even separated the women from the children. So that generational pattern must be broken within the black culture. That's beyond a Willie Lynch syndrome. That's just straight up demonic. It's demonic. And facing fear, for some of you, I mean, it's so demonic how they would even do the whole paper bag thing. They would put a paper bag over a mother or over a father and breed the mother or the father with the son or the daughter or the uncle or the aunt with the sister and the brother. It was sick. Those colonizers and imperialists would literally prey on the strengths that they saw in their so-called slaves and the enslaved people and our ancestors. If they saw a particular trait that was strong in your bloodline, they would try to continue that bloodline so they could have more of you working on their plantations. So they would breed you with the son and the father and the mother, just a soupy mess, and then separate the families. So that type of genetic trauma is locked in our DNA. It is epigenetics. And it needs purged. It's beyond a limiting belief. It is a spiritual manifestation of a demonic interbreeding and separation of families. And we see it in Black and brown communities worldwide. You could turn on YouTube. You could type in the search bar videos of Black people all over the world and Black families, and see for yourself the brokenness within the families and within the communities, within the culture. We're the only ones that can heal us. And that healing starts with recognizing your source of fear. And most times, you hold the source of fear. In most cases, only you can recognize that. It's going to take for you to sit down with the uncle that perhaps raped you when you were a child, or the aunt who raped you when you were a child, or the parent perhaps that sent you over the grandparents' house whose son, uncle was, just a straight violator. So fear often arises from the belief that speaking your truth will lead to harm. But I'm here to tell you, speaking your truth will set you free. And whom the Son has made free is free indeed. And also the real fear, it lies in you not discussing the truth, because that is enabling you from healing. Your healing is in your truth. Your healing is in your truth. Fear will have an ability to control your healing. Do you want to heal from your traumas? Do you want a new beginning for the future generation? Then you need to have the talk with the people in your family that have been tight-lipped about things that have caused you harm, or some things that have caused your parents harm or your siblings harm. And it may sound like a confrontation, but you don't have to be confrontational to confront fear. You see, you don't, money man. What we must do is stop agreeing with the demonic contracts that has suppressed and oppressed us for hundreds of years because of fear. By acknowledging your fear and questioning its validity, you begin to see it for what it is. And what is it? It's a barrier that you can overcome. And how do you overcome that? By setting boundaries, healthy boundaries, boundaries that may resemble what I had to do. Tell someone that I absolutely love that no, you cannot give me what I know I deserve. No, we cannot be friends. No, you cannot call me. No, you cannot FaceTime me. No, you cannot chat me. Don't send me no more of your bumbleclap pictures and your videos. Go on with your life, and I wish you the absolute best. Cry, fast, pray, and don't look back unless that person is coming to you with what you know you deserve. And if they're not willing to come correct, then you already know the answer. Don't come at all. So let's reframe conflict. Because when you decide to stay in a place that is not conducive for your health, it's conflicting. Right? A common fear when confronting the past is that it will lead to conflict. I wrote here, while conflict can feel uncomfortable, it is not inherently negative. It doesn't have to be negative at all. It's validating. It's freeing. It's creating a pivotal point for you to open up and deeply heal. Without deep love, there will not be deep disappointment. Right? Sometimes we need to dive deep into truth, into the mindset and the whole storyline of what deep disappointment looks like for you. Because for everybody it's different. For me, it was continuing to settle in a relationship that was not serving my greater good. And what's my greater good? Not lying in a bit of sin. Period. Ain't that much sex in the world. And the sex was amazing. But I don't care what it felt like. I can care less at this point. Like I forgot what it felt like. I do not care what it felt like because it will lead you to hell. Let me tell you, conflict can prompt change. It can prompt a deeper understanding and better communication. Because now the person knows for sure where I stand. So the only way that he can communicate to me is to come correct. Otherwise, there's no communication. There's no communication. And I'm okay with that. Because I have peace and I have a better understanding about myself, about what the hidden blocks of my life as it pertained to my primary relationship looked like. It gave me more clarity on what needed exposed in my life. And that was me just looking in the mirror saying, my primary relationship is not growing. It is stagnant. And my partner is okay with that and I'm not. So it was an expose that did not lead into conflict. It led into a blessed assurance, right? Knowing that I'm not settling for less. I am not settling for mediocrity. Maybe where, he's from, not from the US, he's not from the US. Um, I don't know. That's perhaps what they do. Have one, two, three, four, five wives. I don't know. But he didn't show me that he was a king. And I am not settling with a man that has two, three, four, five wives. Like, for what? For what? That's ridiculous. Most men can handle one wife, let alone two, three, four, five of them. Like, it's just not cool. So I had to reframe my perspective on conflict, and it was a very, very necessary part of my healing. Excuse me. Speaking of healing, I think my grandson gave me whatever he caught. He caught an ear infection, and my oldest son was here. He had pneumonia, and then it turned into an upper respiratory infection. And today, this evening, I started coughing. And I haven't had a cold since I caught COVID 2 years ago. I caught COVID, what was that? 2020? It was December 28th or December 28th of 2021. But I haven't been sick since then. And prior to that, I hadn't had a cold in like 10 years. So the key is to approach conflict, Mishpaka, with an open heart. And the best thing to do is to work on your heart chakra because you don't want to be confrontational, but you for sure want to confront the thing that is not in alignment with your greater good or your purpose on this planet or the will of the Most High for your life. You should seek a resolution and a mutual understanding without further division. But in some instances, you gotta sever the relationship. You gotta cut it off. You have to set it aside so you can love on you and align your life with all the goals that you have set for yourself. And if relationally, if being in a primary relationship is a goal and securing a spouse is the outcome of that goal, then being someone's forever boyfriend or girlfriend is not a part of your plan. So that needs severed, and dividing shouldn't even be a question. So setting boundaries, like I mentioned before, if you're worried about rejection or invalidation from, your potential spouse or family members, you can't really worry about that because for your own mental health and growth and expansion, you have to set healthy boundaries. You have to set healthy boundaries. It's so crucial, and there's no way around it. And that even may entail boundaries with your children who are adult children and they feel like so close to you, but you're not their friend. They're your child. I don't care how old they are. They're still your child, and they should always respect you as the mother or the father according to Ephesians chapter 6. Honor thy mother and father so that you may live long on the earth. And parents, don't anger your children to wrath. Right? So we have to set boundaries with family members. We have to set boundaries with people we're dating, with co-workers, with neighbors, setting boundaries is a very healthy part of adulthood and knowing who you are and who you serve. If you're a child of the Most High and you know you serve the King of Kings, then you know you're not just going to let people rip and run all over you like you're some type of doormat. You're an heir to the throne of Christ. You're a bride of Christ. Why would you let somebody run all over you like you're a concubine or a whoremonger or a harlot or a whore? Some people are that. I am not. And you have to decide what you are and what you are not and draw the line. You're a parent, not a friend. Draw the line, right? Period. So these boundaries protect your emotional well-being. Period. And they provide a space needed for good health, for optimal health and well-being, and for growth. Not just for yourself, but it puts them in place. Like every family has a position. Every family has a role. The father has a role, the mother has a role, the children has a role. I come from a 2-parent household. Mom and dad had 6 children. Same mom and dad had 6 children. There was no outside siblings involved. Just my mother and father brought 6 children onto this earth. And I was child number 4. And being child number 4, I was a middle child because I had 2 brothers and a sister older than me, and 2 sisters younger than me. And my brother and I were like the middle children. Growing up as a middle child, it felt like I was the first child because my parents, for some reason, looked over the older 3 and I always be like, Leah, come do this. Like, Leah, do this for your little sisters. Leah, like, wash all the clothes for all 8 people in the house. Leah, fold up all the clothes. Leah, put all their clothes away. Leah, sweep and mop. Leah, get on your hands and knees and wax the floors. Like, our house was huge. The house had 23 rooms. The 3rd floor was rented out to tenants. And we lived on the 1st and 2nd floor. And then the basement was an enormous room, my father's work room. There was 2 garages in the backyard. There was 3 gardens. He planted our crops, and we ate from the crops that he planted for 32 years. He fed a community. Leah, go help your dad, pick the greens and the beans and all of that, right? They made me so responsible. Way more responsible than all other 5 children. That when I got old enough to leave their house, I didn't look back. And I left at the age of 19. And I didn't look back. Whereas the older 3 was still living with mom. And the other 2 were still living with mom and dad. They were all still living there. Leah was gone. And then the sister under me, she left. She was the 2nd one to leave. Then the younger sister, she was the baby sister. She was the 3rd one to leave. The older 3 ones were still in the house with mom and dad. Why did they grow me up like that? I don't know, honestly. Sometimes I feel like I was like a Cinderella of the house. I'm still getting leads in. I've been renting my house out to traveling medical professionals, doctors, nurses, and nurse staff. But I cannot take any more tenants. My house sold. I need to be out of this house by the end of this month. So I'm going to have to cancel these leads coming in because a lot of them have been coming in. But my parents, they Not only did my parents see something in me, but the other elders and ancestors in my family, like they would look over their own children, be like my grandparents, my grandmother, Leah, I want you to come over. My mom's mom, like, yes, ma'am. What is it? I want you to have these. She gave me her wedding set, glasses to her wedding set. She had 4 daughters. My aunt, one of my aunts died a long time ago, so there was 3 daughters left. They're like, why did she give them to you? I don't know. There's like 14 grandchildren and great grandchildren and great 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 and aunts and uncles. She called me. My mom, she gave me her wedding set. She gave it to me and another sister. She don't have hers, but I kept the other 6. It was a set of 12. Fine china, mikosa. I still have all 6 pieces of the huge serving tray, the dishes, the plates, the saucers, the cups, the little beautiful little teacups, the gravy. I don't even know what it's called. The sauce bowl for the gravy, like all of that. I still have it. When my uncle passed away, he bequeathed me out of everybody in the family on both sides all the property that he received in a will from his brother, my father's other brother, that they received in a will from their uncle, who's not a relative of mine. So on their father's side, my father had a different father than his 3 brothers, because my father's father was the bishop who raped my grandmother. See, but she said to them, make sure you take care of James's children. So when my uncle passed, he's looking for one that he could leave the family wealth to. He searched high and low. He left it to me. He left me all the history of the church, to the point that when I called the museum, they're like, how did you end up with the history of Wesley Center AME Zion on the Hill District of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Underground Railroad went through? How did you end up with church history? Because that's my grandfather. Some of you in your family are chosen ones. And your ancestors and your elders saw it in you. They saw it in you and you alone. They chose you over their own children. They chose you over their siblings. They chose you over all the grandchildren, over all the nieces and nephews. They chose you for a reason. And there's some people in your family that don't like that. They may try to come against you. They may try to drum up false charges and accusations against you. They may sit around and talk about you for no reason. You have done nothing wrong to any of them. But because you're chosen for a time such as this, the enemy of their soul knows that. And they will be confrontational towards you. But you have to stand 10 toes down. Face the fear. Dissolve the hidden blocks. Expose all the blind spots. And purge all their limiting beliefs. See, because whatever they believe, who they think you are, is really telling you who they are. Because apparently your ancestors saw that you were a mirror that reflects the character of Christ. And when family members look at you, they should see a reflection of Christ. And if they don't, they need to look in the mirror. Because your ancestors saw something in you that outshined every other family member. For whatever reason, your beacon of light shined a little brighter. And they knew who to give it to, who to pass it down to. It's going to take someone who's bold, who's brave-hearted, who's courageous, who does not settle for mediocrity. It's going to take someone who knows who they are. You know you're a child of the Most High. You know you're heir to the throne of Yah. You know you have the grace of God, the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, blessing you. And you know goodness and mercy follows you all the days of your life. And your ancestors knew that. And so they chose you. So when you're ready to confront fear, you may need to seek support. And here at the Purge Box, I'm creating an environment that is conducive not only for my success, because I'm going through this just like right with you. This is real time. But not everyone deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves to have access to you. And not everybody deserves to have access to me. So these talks, these 1 hour conversations is something that I am going to allocate for members only. Because I understand this is a very sacred space. It's a sacred space, Mishpachah. It's a space where we can release the need for approval. Some of us are so needy, wanting the approval of other people. Their opinion of you is not your business. Other people's opinion of me ain't any of my business. That's an opinion. They don't know me. They don't have any idea of what I go through or have endured. They have no idea what you go through on a day-to-day basis. They have no idea of the conversations that you have with your king on a regular. And they think they know you because they're a family member or a friend or a coworker or a neighbor or an extended relative. I've grown so much in the past 6 months, my own family don't even know me. I've had to separate myself from family members. At one time, they were my best friends. So I say that to say this. When you feel isolation, know that it requires elevation. Elevation requires isolation. I said it backwards. Elevation requires isolation. When the Most High is taking you to a higher place in Him, a place of consecration, a place of separation, a place of holiness, right? It requires meditation, which elevates you. And that place is a very isolating place. It's like the eagle. Mishpachah. Eagles are, they're birds, but they don't flock in packs. They're the strongest bird out there and they fly alone. They rise above everything and they got an eagle eye to see the things that the birds closer can't even see. So it's a very spiritual place. And my phone is telling me my battery is getting ready to oh my dear, it's getting ready to close. So I'm going to be ending this live. We're at 60 minutes and 45 seconds. So I had to make this because I like making the lives. I think it's just easier personally as opposed to creating like thumbnails and making a video and then editing the video and then uploading a video and going and making a thumbnail for the video. Like, I really don't even like doing all that, but I like creating content and I like social media and I like meeting new people. I like staying in the face of an audience that I am curating and cultivating here at the Purge Box, because I know one day perhaps we'll meet on a retreat once I get to my new location in the new country that I am going to be going to. So stay tuned. I'm going to end this live, and as I come to a close here tonight, just know that you have the ability to transform your life by facing your fears and confronting the thing, the people, the place that is stunting your growth. And it could be someone that you love the most. It could be your person, right? But if that person is not willing to meet you where you need to be to help you grow, you gotta let them go. Period. Even if it's family. Pray for them. Stir them with a long handled spoon. And until they come around on the same plane, in the same frequency, with the same raised elevation as you, then you know where you stand. You set your boundary, and it is what it is. All right? Rise in Christ, Mishpachah. Rise in Christ and stay safe. Have a blessed night. Shalom. Or a good morning.